Kids, do you remember how in last week's story, God had a plan for Esther to do things, and how Esther became queen? Well, this week we're going to find out a bit more about God's plan. Now, Mordecai, Esther's adopted dad, always sat at the king's gate. He would watch quietly, making sure that Esther was safe and happy. One day he was sitting happily in the sun when he overheard something terrible. Two of the king's officers were chatting. "You know our king," they said. "I've really had enough of him. He gets on my nerves. I think we should kill him. We can have a far better king, someone who lets us do whatever we want." "Yeah, let's do it." Mordecai heard everything they said. Because Mordecai was a good man, he didn't want to keep quiet about something so bad. He sent a message straight to the palace, and those officers were caught before they could harm anybody. Kids, don't you think that the king would have been so made up with Mordecai that he would have thanked him and done something nice for him? Even a box of chocolates would have been nice. But he didn't. He totally forgot about poor Mordecai. Instead, the king was more bothered about his mate Haman. Haman was pretty much the king's best mate. He was always sucking up to him, being sly and nasty to everyone else. Well, the king loved this, so he decided to make Haman even more important. He made him number 2 in the whole government. And because Haman had his new special job, he decided that whatever he walked past, people should bow down to him. Well, kids, that's a bad idea. Haman just got bossier than ever. In fact, he became a right bully. He would stride around with his head in the air, just waiting for people to bow down to him. He would yell, You, get me this. You, get me that. Get out of my way." He loved to make people scared of him. Now one day Haman was passing Mordecai. "Yes," thought Haman, "another rubbish person who can bow down to me." But do you know what Mordecai did? He refused to. Haman yelled and threatened him, but it was no good. Mordecai just would not bow to him. Haman was furious. He hated Mordecai for this. In fact, he hated him so much, he decided he wanted to kill him. Haman loved making trouble for people. He knew that Mordecai was a Jew, so he started to make a plot where he could get rid of the Jews, especially Mordecai. Next week we'll find out a bit more about his plan. But for now, I want you just to think about the 2 men in our Bible lesson. Mordecai had the courage to do what was right, even if no one was watching. He protected the king when the king really needed him. But Haman was the exact opposite. He was a bully and a troublemaker. Who are you more like, kids? I hope you're more like Mordecai, because God's very clear in the Bible. He hates it when we make trouble for other people.